What's up ladies and gents, Kknowley here, welcome back to another Payday 2 video. Today I'll be showcasing a ridiculously explosive setup I've been seriously enjoying to turn Death Sentence on its head and be the guy 1 to 2-shotting everything in sight while sponging up all damage with, simply put, the best per deck in the game. This build lets us do a little role-playing as everyone's favourite Scott. No, not you Bonnie, especially when we consider we'll be taking copious swigs of the good stuff throughout. This build is, as I said, explosive and will be upping the on-screen corpses at quite a rate, which as you know comes with a sizable knock-on performance, which is where the sponsor for today's video comes in. With Opera GX, the first browser tailored towards fulfilling the requirements of gamers, we can keep even the spaghetti-coded Payday 2 running well whilst tabbing like a madman on our other monitor. First things first, it's a stylishly designed browser that's done its research on the minds of gamers. They know we love our neons and give us full customization options, so we can go for a jacket-inspired Vaporwave or brooding White Wolf. It's more substance than style, however, as the GX control feature is the key to getting the most out of this browser. With it, we can set hard limits on the browser's resource usage, from bandwidth to RAM and CPU. This is perfect for anyone who records content or plays resource-intensive games, but hates constantly losing all their important tabs. I'm guilty of this, and when using my old browser, often feel the side effects of my poor tabbing behaviour. The features don't end there though. The browser has its own music player and integrations with Spotify, Apple Music and YouTube Music, all of which automatically pause when watching your favourite Kknowley video. Speaking of content creators, the sidebar also comes with Twitch functionality, so you know when a stream has gone live automatically, as well as messaging services meaning you can keep doing what you're doing in a tab, while staying in touch with friends or prospective heisters in the Discord. Overall, I've been really impressed by what Opera GX has to offer, and I'm happy to encourage you guys to give it a go. Follow the link down in the description and in the pinned comment, and drop some browser feedback of your own in the comments section. First things first, let's take a look at the weapons we'll be wielding today. In the primary slot, this is going to be my first look at the Little Friend Assault Rifle, since the weapon saw probably the most sizable adjustments during the recent weapon rebalance. Although ARs are no longer positively affected by damage range multipliers, this thing has still gone from a glorified grenade launcher masquerading as an AR to a genuinely viable DMR style weapon. Here's how I build it, but honestly it's become so much more versatile since it was given reasonable ammo pickup rates and capacity on its primary fire. If you want to, you can run it with Berserker or even Crit, as we would with say the M308, as this thing has excellent accuracy and stability stats, and then simply have the underbarrel grenade launcher for dealing with shields. Equally, you can use the AR functionality as a means to deal with individual targets, easily take converts or headshot cloakers and bulldozers, and still focus on its explosive properties, as we do with this build. Although the grenade launcher's ammo pickup was halved, it's still a one-shot kill on all 960 health cops and below, ignore my wolf hood doubling everything for some odd reason. And now it has an even greater synergy with ammunition. You see, compared to other primary launchers such as the Piglet or GL40, its fire rate cap is a lot less restrictive, meaning when we don't have to reload, thanks to Bulletstorm, we can get much more damage downrange in a shorter period of time. That means for this build, it's simply the best grenade launcher, and the additional DMR capabilities are just a bonus. Overall, I think this weapon was buffed in Update 2.04 and from an already very viable position, so now would be a great time to give it a go if you are a lucky owner of the Scarface character pack. Moving on now to the secondary, the Commando 101 rocket launcher. In this build, it's essentially the primary weapon, offering ridiculous DPS in a massive area of effect. This thing has always been viable at the top of the meta and is supposedly balanced by its inability to pick up ammunition, but in fact exists as one of the few remaining reasons to actually run ammo bags. It's pretty unparalleled when it comes to taking down groups of enemies effortlessly, one-shotting everything but dozers. And in a build like this, it's going to be key that we also use the Commando to soften up dozers as well whenever possible. The only real drawback is the possibility for friendly fire when playing online. Not everyone is built like a mountain with Stoic, so keep that in mind when using any explosives in public lobbies. Here though, in my solo build, I'm free to fire away. I've already alluded to it, but today's perk deck is going to be the ever overpowered Stoic. This deck is still rivaling Release Grinder to this day, and once mastered, becomes the perfect gateway to DSOD. High threat units such as dozers and snipers will hardly pose a challenge to you with it equipped. I've been through Stoic so many times now, you guys know the drill, it's busted, and when you feel like being a little overpowered, it's a go-to, especially if you're running a kill-orientated build as we are here. As for my skills, I build like this when playing solo, with Iron Man, fully loaded and a Bloodthirst being standout skill selections. When playing online, I run it with Inspire, dropping fully loaded and the melee skills, and just in case you want to feel a little less guilty about using Stoic and have a slightly easier time killing dozers, this heavy ballistic vest kingpin variation of the build is a decent shout. Both setups are very similar, but this one enables us to put a point of unseen strike in, which when coupled with self-damage from the launcher, can give you the crits you need to make much shorter work of the big guys. We run the Stoic version with an ICTV, ammo and first aid kits, alongside the comically large spoon of gold for maximum disrespect. So what do you need to know to maximize your fun and effectiveness when playing with this build? Well, first up, as with most health-orientated decks, both Stoic and Kingpin rely on the additional convert health, so getting one should be a top priority as soon as you load into a heist. One issue that becomes apparent early on is that the commando hits so hard that even with their damage reduction, converts can still be easily wounded and killed by friendly fire, so staying on top of having one is going to be key and keeping that health pool higher and regeneration going. Secondly, you're going to want to play as aggressively as you possibly can. Your range is somewhat limited and there's no way to gate with Stoic, so whatever damage you're taking will be building up consistently, and cover is hard to maintain when blowing things up is your main goal. In exchange for this vulnerability, your kills per second potential gives you access to an endless fountain of sustainability thanks to one of Stoic's most important but often overlooked features, the 2-second flask cooldown reduction per kill with Imperturbable. This means you can instantly recharge a sip and insta-heal for every 5 enemies you take out. Very doable with this sort of damage you'll be dealing. It's actually possible to avoid cover altogether with this setup, just so long as you're staying on top of that flask healing and being as aggressive as you can be, so focusing on taking out cops is going to be a big deal. In general, fully loaded is a hard to recommend skill, as with most ammo skills. However, in this build, the 25% capacity increase at the cost of 4 points feels worthwhile when it translates into 1 additional grenade launcher pipe and 2 extra rockets per ammo bag. Across the entire heist, this can turn into about 20 extra free rockets that can be used at pivotal moments. Not bad for the small investment, but not a necessity either if you wanted to go for my multiplayer style build. Bulletstorm on the other hand is sort of the crux of this setup. I've always loved the skill and it makes ammo builds that bit more fun than your usual medkit copium. Of course we're running jack of all trades and first aid kits here too, but that's more of a Stoic necessity. In essence, few builds are able to output as much free damage over the Bulletstorm duration as this one, with all 3 possible damage forms being applicable over that duration. See a large crowd in an area, the commando is the way to go. Notice small groups of cops at varied ranges, whip out the grenade launcher spam. If you have multiple bulldozers to deal with, going with the fully auto little friend is your best bet to make the most of headshot multipliers and its single target DPS. Overall, you have the perfect arsenal to leverage the skill. Remember, at the end of the bag, you'll get an extra long Bulletstorm to really make the most of, and this is best used when trying to push an open objective or during an escape sequence. The final, somewhat niche skills I wanted to mention are the melee ones I pick up in Fugitive. This is a purely personal playstyle, but Pumping Iron and Bloodthirst offer another way to deal with bulldozers and close quarters special enemies. Sometimes we'd rather not blast our own feet into oblivion, so in those moments, a swiftly charged melee hit offers a less self-destructive method of dispatch. It comes with its risks, but with the sheer quantity of kills you're getting here, it won't be hard to get the Bloodthirst multiplier up to 16 times damage, allowing you to use everyone's favourite golden spoon and its rapid charge potential to deal 14,400 damage a swing. Often I'll just use this to soften up a dozer and finish them off with Little Friend, meaning the effect remains stacked. Also, when you go for that melee kill, it will grant a rapid reload effect, which is pretty damn useful for all our clunky, slow reloading weapons. It's a nice complement for the build, but certainly more playstyle orientated and not a recommendation for everyone. There may be ways to build this more optimally, but when it comes to Stoic, it does so much of the heavy lifting, it hardly matters, and you should just have as much fun with it as you possibly can. In conclusion, this is probably the last time I'm going near a Stoic setup for a little while. It's the only deck that makes Death Sentence feel like a regular difficulty, I have to admit, and would definitely be my recommendation for those of you who want to try and get through DSOD for the first time. However, it teaches pretty bad habits, and I fear if we do get a perk deck rebalance as we saw with the weapons, it will be one of the perks taking a large hit in favour of the more hybrid decks. In any case, you can't argue with the fun factor of the Bulletstorm Commando rockets creating endless healing for the already extremely tanky setup. one of the most fun builds in the game that also does the job on the hardest difficulty, so you won't have to compromise enjoyment for viability. Give it a go and let me know how it runs for you. I feel like even though it hasn't had the DMR rebalance, this setup should still work nicely on console, and may even favour the reduced precision that comes with using a controller. In any case, thanks a lot for watching this video, let me hear your thoughts on Opera, and I'll see you all very soon.
Oh, they're going to have to glue you back together in hell!
As ever, thank you very much to my Mean Infamy patrons and above. If you want to join that infamous club to see yourself in the credits or get early exclusive access to my videos, including the story videos, check out my Patreon link below. Remember, the Discord is open to all if you crave some more Payday discussion. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you all very soon for the next one.